Hey there, it's me again, Joseph, your host. It's August 26th, and today we celebrate the feast of Saint Elizabeth Bichier Âges. Now, the name might be a bit of a mouthful, but the story of this saint is definitely worth knowing. She was an amazing woman from France who showed that no matter how hard things get, love and faith can change the world. That's a big idea for such a tiny saint, right? That's why we call it Catechism for Kids. So let's dive in. Saint Elizabeth was born in France in 1773 during a really scary time. It was right in the middle of the French Revolution, like the storming of the Bastille and the whole let them eat cake thing. Being a Catholic wasn't exactly a piece of cake during that time because some folks were getting hurt because of their faith. But young Elizabeth stayed strong. Saint of the day, the 26th of August. Saint Jean Elizabeth, de Bichier de Anger FC, 1773 to 1838. Commonly referred to as Saint Elizabeth Bichier, and known as the Good Sister. Religious and co-founder with Saint Andrew Fournet of the Sisters of the Cross. Sisters of Saint Andrew, a religious congregation which was established for the care of the poor and the instruction of rural children in the Diocese of Poitiers in 1807. She also helped to inspire the founding of a community of priests dedicated to missionary service, the Congregation of the Sacred Heart of Jesus of Bethlehem. Saint Jean Elizabeth de Bichier de Angers was born in 1773 in the Château d'Angers near LeBlanc, France, home of her aristocratic family. She was one of the 4 children of the couple and later was commonly called Elizabeth by her family. Her mother was a very devout Catholic and ensured that her children were taught how to pray and the teachings of the Catholic faith. Elizabeth proved a ready student, already feeling drawn to prayer from her childhood. Her father, the Lord of Angers, sent her to the convent at Poitiers to be educated at approximately age 10. She did not return home until the death of her father to prevent the family's property from being confiscated by the state. When she was 19 years old, on his deathbed, she met Saint Andrew Fournet, who would play an important role in her future. Following her father's death, Elizabeth found herself embroiled in a court battle to save her family's property and possessions. Having studied law, she argued the case in court and won. Expected to marry and make the property her home, Elizabeth had no intention of marriage, instead, looking only to the Lord. On the back of a picture of Our Lady, she had written, "I dedicate and consecrate myself to Jesus and marry forever." With her mother, she moved to La Guimetière, a town still suffering greatly from the after-effects of the French Revolution. With no priest living there, the town had little in the way of religious guidance or celebration. While living there, Elizabeth began to feel the loss of the Eucharist in her life, as the local church was being served by a juring priest, for which it was rejected by the local people. From her childhood, she had been attracted to contemplation, and she had consecrated herself to the Virgin Mary. Her wish was to consecrate her life too, as God in an enclosed religious order, but she did not tell her mother. During this period, she used to gather people and pray with them. Over time, the number of participants grew prolifically. After her mother's death, Elizabeth lived for some time in a Carmelite community to experience the rigors and benefits of committing to the Lord. Certain of her call, together with Saint Andrew Fournet, who had begun a similar group of laity in a nearby city, she founded the Daughters of the Cross of Saint Andrew in order to care for the sick and the poor. Among their other goals was the education of the poor rural citizens of France. Known for her honesty and charity, she was well respected in the community. Following the death of a poor sick man she had taken in to help, the police appeared at the convent to question her. They informed her that the man was an escaped criminal and she had harbored a fugitive. But Elizabeth was unafraid, replying calmly to the officer, "I only did what you yourself would have done, sir," she said. "I found this poor sick man and took care of him until he died. I am ready to tell the judge just what happened." Appointed the first superior of the order, Elizabeth worked tirelessly to spread the gospel and establish new houses. By 1820, they had expanded again, and a former monastery of the Order of Fontevraud was obtained in Le Puy, where their mother house was established. It still serves as the congregation's headquarters. By 1830, shortly before her death, she had personally established over 60 houses throughout France. They currently serve or have served around the globe in France, Spain, Italy, Hungary, Belgium, Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, the Belgian Congo, Burkina Faso, the Ivory Coast, China, and Thailand. In Âges, in the Basque Country, she met Father Michael Garricoits, 1797 to 1863, who served as the spiritual advisor of the house there. With her encouragement, he founded a men's congregation of the order, named the Priests of the Sacred Heart of Bethlehem. Saint Elizabeth died in 1838, at which time there were about 600 Daughters of the Cross serving in some 100 communities. She was beatified by Pope Pius XI in 1934 and canonized by Pope Pius XII in 1947. Her remains are enshrined at the Mother House in La Poix. The life of Saint Elizabeth demonstrates to us that there is much we can each accomplish in the world serving the Lord through service to one another. Saint Elizabeth saw poor, uneducated rural communities in need of spiritual guidance. Through the grace of God and the courage of this woman, she created the change that was needed. How often did you see what needs to be done and chose not to do it? How often do we ignore the call of the Lord to help those in need, those in our own communities? How might we better the lives of our fellow man in service to Christ? So remember, no matter how hard things might seem, one person's love and faith can change the world. Elizabeth's Bichier Day ages might be gone, but her spirit lives on in all of us who believe in helping others and spreading God's love. And hey, before we go, don't forget to share the love. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. And remember, God loves you. Bye for now.